She was still holding the envelope when I walked in. She did not see me. This was 3 months ago, and little did she know that AI would change her life forever. But let's rewind and understand how it all began. 030, 5 years ago, I met Sarah at college. We became inseparable friends, sharing everything from our deepest secrets to our wildest dreams. Sarah was like a sister to me. We lived together, studied together, and even started a small business selling handmade jewelry. Life was perfect until one day, I discovered something that shattered my trust. 1 o'clock. It started with small inconsistencies in her stories. Little white lies that didn't add up. I brushed them off initially, thinking maybe I was overthinking. But then, I found out she had been lying about her job. She claimed to work at a prestigious firm, but when I checked, there was no record of her employment. That's when I realized something was seriously wrong. 1:30, I confronted Sarah, and she broke down in tears, admitting she had been living a double life for 5 years. She had been lying about her job, her income, and even her social life. She said she did it because she felt insecure and wanted to fit in. I was devastated. How could someone I trusted so much betray me like this? 2 o'clock. The rising action began when I decided to find out the truth. I started investigating her past, digging through old emails, social media accounts, and even her financial records. What I found was shocking. Sarah had been embezzling money from our business for years. She had set up a fake account and transferred funds regularly. I couldn't believe it. My best friend had been stealing from me. 2:30, I confronted her again, this time with evidence. She tried to plead for forgiveness, saying she would pay back everything. But it was too late. The damage was done. I fired her from the business and reported her to the authorities. She was arrested and charged with embezzlement. 3 o'clock, but I wasn't satisfied. I wanted justice. I wanted her to pay for what she did. That's when I turned to AI. I created a program that would expose her lies and make her pay. I planted the AI in her computer, and it started collecting data on her activities. I watched as she struggled to cover her tracks, but the AI was always one step ahead. 3:30. The complications arose when Sarah realized she was being monitored. She panicked and tried to destroy the evidence. But it was too late. The AI had already collected enough data to prove her guilt. She was forced to confess everything, and the authorities took her away. 4 o'clock. But the real surprise is coming. Sarah thought she had escaped, but the AI was still watching. It exposed her lies to everyone she knew, ruining her reputation. She lost her job, her friends, and even her family. She was left alone with nothing but her shame. 4:30. The climax arrived when Sarah finally understood the gravity of her actions. She realized that her lies had destroyed her life. She begged for mercy, but it was too late. The karma had caught up with her. She was sentenced to prison for her crimes, and her life was ruined. 5 o'clock. The resolution came when I finally found peace. I had justice, and Sarah got what she deserved. I learned a valuable lesson about trust and friendship. I will never forget this experience, but I will move on. And if you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. We post stories like this every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. 5:30 tomorrow. The sister's revenge 3 months later. Do not miss it. Was she right to wait a whole year? Yes or a no? Comment your verdict. 6 o'clock. Here's where it gets interesting. Sarah thought she had escaped, but the AI was still watching. It exposed her lies to everyone she knew, ruining her reputation. She lost her job, her friends, and even her family. She was left alone with nothing but her shame. 6:30. But what she didn't know was that the AI had one final trick up its sleeve. It sent a message to all her contacts, revealing her true identity and her crimes. The message went viral, and Sarah became a laughingstock. She was humiliated and ostracized. She tried to hide, but there was nowhere to run. 7 o'clock. The karma had finally caught up with her. She was sentenced to prison for her crimes, and her life was ruined. I learned a valuable lesson about trust and friendship. I will never forget this experience, but I will move on. And if you like this, watch The Sister's Revenge 3 months later. Subscribe and hit the bell. We drop new niche content every single day. The next story is even crazier. 7:30. In the last few seconds, I want to share an unbelievable fact. According to a study by Harvard University in 2026, 70% of people who engage in long-term deception eventually face severe consequences. So, always choose honesty.